What's going on, guys? If you thought I was going to edit the time from me hitting record to opening MS Paint, I couldn't be fucked. So let's just get right into things. This video, I'll even write it on the whiteboard I have here conveniently. What to do if you're subhuman. So according to the black pill, people would say that it's over. Some would say it looks max. But let's talk about the real answer of what you should do if you are actually someone who is subhuman, someone who is below 2 PSL. So I want to talk about expectations. If you are subhuman, you will never have a good quality of life if your starting base after puberty is realistically below even 3 PSL. It's quite a brutal world out there. But I want to explain a few concepts in this video and explain kind of how you can optimize your misfortunate life. So the thing that you need to realize is with looks maxing, what's achievable is not a huge increase in percentiles. See, even with the most black-pilled surgeries, even with the most intensive looks maxing, maybe you can gain 2, and in an insane case, 3 PSL. So if you are someone who's extremely misfortunate in their looks to start out with, you're 2 PSL and you go to 4 PSL, but if the only thing that you focus on from the time that you started on your ascension was your looks, and that's all you have to offer, 4 PSL is still gonna do fuck all for you. You know what I mean? So that's why you shouldn't only looks max if you are subhuman. So that's the percentile wise, right? So you're only getting a small percentile, but with status and money, you could go all the way from 0 to 99 percentile here. So you can go from 0 all the way to 99 percentile. Just make it look a little better. Fuck. Right, 99 percentile. So you could ascend to a much higher degree with status and money than you could with looks. So that's important to note. So this ascension is going to maul your looks ascension to death. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't only focus on one of the two. It means that you have to do both. Because we're going to go from 20th percentile to maybe 50th if we're lucky. But if we have the combination, we take the average of these two percentiles, say the 75th percentile now, but we started at 20th. If we're broke, then we're at 20th, right? Then we maximize our status. We get to 99th. Then we have 50th percentile looks. We average these two metrics, and we are now 75th percentile male, right? And sure, it might be skewed more in favor of looks, so we'll be generous and call it 70th percentile. So your final number here is 70. We'll give that a big red circle. Now, I'm not going to talk about in this video the exact steps you can take to status max, because if you're someone who's low IQ, you're never going to be able to status max anyway. So there's no point in me trying to explain it. It's genetic predeterminism of whether you can status max or not, alright? So it's going to be based on your IQ. No low IQ people will be able to start companies, will be able to do social media, things like that. So with that out of the way, let's assume at least God gave you something. God gave you the IQ. So we're at 70th percentile. What we want to do is leverage that metric, the metric that favors us most. So we're 50th percentile. Girls are going to be repelled by us, but they're not really going to be revolted when we try to message them, whatever. Look at someone like Andrew Tate. I think Andrew Tate is a prime example of this dynamic. This combination, Andrew Tate is able to slay countless women because he maximized other stats in his life. He maximized stats like low inhibition, he maximized things like manipulation. So you want to work on things like this as well. So Andrew Tate had things like this 90th percentile. He was still seemingly doing okay with women. So I think that's a really good guy to look up to if you're subhuman. And I mean that like because a lot of people look up to him as this great business mind. It's like, no, you should look up to him because it's impressive that even with the revolting face that he is still able to get a decent amount of women. So look up to his manipulation abilities more than anything, right? So we got, let's call this the Andrew Tate example right here. We'll go ahead and circle this here. This is the Andrew Tate example. So how can you use your newfound status to pull these Stacys, pull whatever? So if you're going for pure slays, you have to show that you have money and influence, right? Women have been historically attracted to, higher status. That's going to mean if you are able to bring girls to after parties, bring girls to exclusive events, they're going to favor you more, and that's going to give you sort of a halo to them. It's a stupid concept, sure, but it does work. So we'll go ahead and put the back at the top there, and then we'll go ahead and layout that we are going for status now. Okay, so we'll draw you over in the corner here. There, your little deformed face. Then we'll draw the halo you have if you have status. So the thing about money is that you have to be a beta buxers, right? So you have to be the beta buxers who's gonna, hey, can I take you shopping? Can I do this? Whatever. You're never gonna find true love, but at least you're gonna be able to reproduce if that's something that you're interested in. But you have to go about it by beta buxing, basically letting the woman live off your hard work for free. So a lot of women are fine with being beta bucks. They actually prefer it. If you can see TikToks all about how they prefer a man who makes six figures. Obviously, the looks is always going to be the main driver, but this doesn't mean beta buxing can't work. The main flaw of beta buxing is there's another saying that kind of counteracts beta buxing, which is alpha fucks. So that's a very brutal one. It's a funny saying, so that's why I'm cracking up. But the alpha fucks, well, the beta bucks. So it's more than likely that your spouse or your partner that you're beta buxing is going to cheat on you with Chad. So I find that quite a brutal reality, but we're working with what we got. So we just gotta look the other way. Maybe even appreciate that at least you found a girl that's hot enough where the alpha will even bother fucking her. Because if she's not cheating on you, she's looks match with you, then you improperly used your status. If you're someone who's 99th percentile wealth and you're 50th percentile looks, which is pretty achievable by anyone, despite like severe facial deformity. Anyone watching this, I will say, because I don't have a huge audience, there's probably no one with any birth defects can achieve the Andrew Tate percentile. So you should at least be able to have a Stacy if you're following the advice that I say. And the Stacy is gonna cheat, okay? Stacy's gonna cheat on you, but at least you get to spend a lifetime with a Stacy if she's unfaithful or not. But you started at 20th percentile, so the fact that you can achieve a 95th percentile woman, you should be grateful of that in itself and not really focus on the consequences of her actions. That's how I feel about it. Put your take in the comments if that's a cucked way of thinking. I don't know. I'll never have to personally deal with it because I started off above these percentiles and have reached further percentiles, so it doesn't really compute in my mind. But it's an interesting school of thought, in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think about that. So using status, you have to engage your social media. You have to be focusing on funneling that success, that fame that you have into social media platforms. Funneling into social media, especially Instagram, is going to give you such a massive advantage over normies who have 500 followers. You know, Aunt Jeannie, you know, whoever else, they're normally friends, co-workers. If you have 500 followers, it's utterly over for you, no matter how good your profile is, because it's almost cuck to only have 500 people that know you in that parasocial way, which is a crazy reality, but I'm just explaining the reality we live in. I'm just telling you, I'm not saying it's right, it's wrong. So you have at least 10,000 followers on Instagram, or it's over for you. So we'll throw up another diagram for you to follow. So here you're going to be Instagram maxing. All right, so you're Instagram maxing, and this is kind of a huge deal. So you're really gonna focus on this one. This is a very important topic here. Now, the best way I think you can fraud the status is by doing something called follower farming. So what you're gonna do is go to university pages, scroll through, find the hot chicks, follow them, follow about 100 people a day. The Probably about 20 of them will follow you back. The rest will ignore you because most people just follow back anyway. Because fuck it, why not? So you unfollow them all after. Unfollow the 100 and you repeat this process till you get to 10,000. It'll take you longer the more subhuman you are in your pictures, but if you could really create yourself an empty looking page, you might have an easier time follower farming because you look like a normal person. I recommend you take pictures with relatives, with friends at NT places, going out to dinner, playing golf, things normies find interesting. It's frauding interest. Everyone on Instagram is faking the shit out of their life, so you have to do the same thing. Find normies that look like you, copy their style, and see what they do. See what activities they engage in, and you have to copy them. You have to do exactly what they do. So that's what I recommend. Get yourself about 15 posts looking really sharp. Use a good camera, a new iPhone, even a pro camera. Make it look clean. Do your follower farming. Now you have 10,000. That's good status. That's not 99th Andrew Tate yet, but that's still pretty good. So now let's just put down some key notes here. So you're gonna want 10K followers and about 15 or so posts. All right. So now we have 10,000. Girls will be like, "Why do you have 10,000? You must be something, right?" And this is where LARPing comes in. So we're gonna make a new one because this is huge. I've already touched on this before, and we're gonna get into LARPing. I don't know why I made my N capitalized. So we have thousands of followers now, and we do a LARP where we're gonna basically lie to the girls that we own our own company. We have a company of some sort, and you can get more creative with the LARP. I'm just giving you a standard LARP that I would use if I had to go this route. I would LARP that I own a company that is very hard to understand. Something like industrialism. What does that even mean? I don't fucking know. I heard that in a movie, but I don't remember which movie. So you say you're an industrialist, and you say you own your own company. You can even go so far as to make fake websites, fake LinkedIn profiles. How far do you want to take it? You could LARP as a millionaire. There's apps that could fake having an Amex Black Card. That's just to show how easy it is. I could make tutorials on how to LARP well, if that's absolutely required. So you do the LARP, you lie to them, you do whatever. You approach the girl in the club or shoot your DM. You have to find a way to work in your Instagram if you're doing an IRL approach. That's why I like DMing, because DMing has a halo already embedded in the approach, because she's going to click your profile. So you lie and you say, "Hey, I got my own company," and you find a way to say that you're a millionaire without sounding like an arrogant bastard. So we're going to throw up some more points for you. Lie, obviously, that's the big one here. Andrew Tate, maxing, obviously. And then we got DM. Only draw the little halo over your head that it gives you. And then we have creativity. Holy shit, I'm retarded. Because, yeah, like I said, you could really take this LARP anywhere that you want. You don't have to be, the same story every time. You could honestly just be whoever you feel like. So, and then obviously, no arrogance. Finding a way to say you're a millionaire without sounding like an arrogant bastard could be quite difficult, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. It just might take a couple of tries. So you do that, don't be an arrogant bastard, and that's how you get your Stacy as a subhuman. Alright, so I basically just laid out a game plan for you to work off of. I've given you a real option, way to increase your status, and I've given you a way to lie in a fake way. So there's really no excuse for you at this point if you're 2 PSL. I give you the exact steps to take, so I don't know what you're doing still ladaring. There's really no such thing as a true cell. True cells are really only people with birth defects and are giga finished, so that's probably not you. So you could still ascend using, I don't know, someone make up a cool name using this method that I gave you in the comments. We'll call it the Fitlore method for now. So that's the Fitlore method. I appreciate you guys watching to the end. Cheers, boss. Tune into the next video and subscribe. Not gonna edit out this part either.